Hello and welcome to Mostly Minnesota Music Podcast Edition. I'm Ann Tracy. I'm here with my co-host,
Heather Baker.
We are here with Maygen and the Birdwatcher.
Hello.
Hello. Yeah, Maygen Lacey and Noah Newman.
Yes.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Happy to be here.
Yeah. Well, we're super excited. You guys just released the album last night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, our celebration was last night. The album came out October 1st, and then we gave people like that little chunk of time to get to know it a little bit and then celebrate it last night. And it was awesome.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
It's very, very cool.
Yeah. I want to give you time to bask because it was awesome. We were there and it was so much fun. It filled that space. And so you were at the Ice House, filled the space in such a lovely way.
Yeah. It was good too. We did kind of plan it like we want to just kind of have more like a party celebration. We didn't want to try to be real big or anything like that, but just have people that we liked. We had the Foxglows there as well, which is a band that we love and they're really, really cool. And we just had a lot of people we know, so it's just awesome to kind of be able to have it with people we know and love. So it was a great time.
Yeah.
So it was fun to see the families that were in the room. It was fun to just see all of the love that was going on, and really the music was so good. The sound was so good in there.
It's a great venue, honestly. It's good because it has like this kind of high class feel to it, where it like feels like a cool event should be going there, but it's still small and intimate, and all that wood makes it just sound good and feel good. So it's
the sound guy, the house sound guy was awesome,
really
and
it was good. It's a good.
Well, and I love when you start with Changes. It's kind of a dirge song.
It was very daring to start with that, but we're just like, let's do it.
Yeah, we got to do it at some point in this set, so might as well start.
Let's just get them all in, wondering what the hell is this band gonna do? Yeah.
It really did have. I like this song. It really did have that effect because you're like, oh, all right.
Yeah.
It was super nerve-wracking.
Yeah,
it was super nerve-wracking for me because, of course, an a cappella song, and then it's like I have to hit the highest note pretty much of the whole evening, the very first song when we go out there, and my nerves are at their highest.
You hit it, though. You hit it.
And my daughter said I didn't, but I say I think I did hit it. Thank you, daughter. She likes to keep me on my toes. But yeah, it was a fun intro, and I think it kind of hooked everybody into the evening we were about to have. So yeah.
For sure.
It's fun to hear about it from your perspective because that wouldn't go through it just seemed perfect.
Thank you.
Good. I'm glad. Yes.
We were definitely practicing that in the alleyway, like 20 minutes
before. That one little 2-minute acapella song. Yeah. We spent the most amount of time on just because there's just all these moving parts we gotta get right. So
yeah.
Well, there's nowhere to hide.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But that was the whole thing, is like, it was our album release show. We wanted to do some things that we've never done at any of our other shows. We've never sung that song for anyone else, anywhere else. It's just only on the record. So it was just like, we wanted to pull out some of those extra special things just for the people that were there, last night. So I'm glad people enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I mean, the other super special treat, and we'll talk about the middle piece in a second. Sure. The end when you guys were playing with the Foxglows.
Yeah.
How great was that? Gosh, I just want to relive that.
That was my favorite part, because that's what it's really about for us, just like that kind of that fun with other people, you know what I mean, that's why we do music, is just kind of share it with people and have other people share theirs. So when we could just do that all at the end, and we what was it, 9 people we crammed up there, which was a lot.
Yeah, 9 people.
9 people. That was just so cool. Really, it is just such a special moment, because they have their own kind of art thing that they're doing, and they get to combine it with ours, so it's just cool. That little goulash we get to make.
And they came up with special parts for the songs that they harmonized on. They came up with all those special parts.
That was all them.
We were like, "Can you do harms?" And they're like, "Yeah, heck yeah!" And then they came to the rehearsal, and they're like, "Well, we wrote this part. We wrote this part, and what do you think of this?" And we're like, "Yes to all of those things. Yeah. You guys are so awesome."
They're great. Cannot prop those guys up. Those gals up and down.
So. They were such a treat to have.
Yeah.
So.
Noah, I like that you said a goulash, everybody together, because when Ann and I were watching you, I was like, your band is kind of, I'm going to drop your jigsaw puzzle, because it's kind of little bits and pieces of so many people and types of things that just mesh together so beautifully. It was so beautiful, brilliant, and I can't get enough. Like when first, Maygen, when you came on stage, I was like, it was weird because I read your thing and it said Florence and the Machines, and the way even your body movements and stuff. Like I talked to somebody after, I'm like, Florence the Machine mixed with Casey Musgraves with Joe Cocker and Chris Stapleton, and like stirred. I was just like, it's so everything. I want to know how you got this greatness together.
I think,
It's
well,
so-
that's, yeah, it's a good question. And I think the thing is, we realized right away is that Maygen and I are very different, and we like different things and kind of do things in a different style. But I think we clicked pretty quick. We were like, well, if we could make that work, if we can kind of strain out some of that stuff, but put the rest together, like we might have kind of a cool thing. And it's going to get a little out there sometimes and be a little different. And maybe we'll do some blues stuff sometimes and do a little bit of that stuff. But we thought, man, if we could just be different together, we would hope to make a cool song, right?
Have something for everybody and enjoy ourselves. Because I love performing pretty songs, but I love performing fun songs and quirky songs and bluesy songs. And so if we are able to do that as a band together, then that's the most exciting night for me and for him too, to be able to do all of those things, you know?
And we both have lots of interests too. So it's hard for us to just be like, well, let's just make all the same type of things, do that all over and over and over again. We like to try to do some different things here and there. And we have a great backing band to do that with, because they've got a unique sound too. So it's fun to mix that all together. Yeah.
Good stuff.
I was going to say, you probably have a lot of people signing up going, if you have any room, I can do this too. Just because you hit all the corners, it's so fun.
Yeah.
But, along with hitting all the corners, you always get those opportunities where you're like, oh, that would be a fun festival to play, or that would be a fun show to maybe get on, but you're not quite that genre enough, or you're not that genre enough to really fit the mold that they're looking for. So it's very like, we're going to be paving our own way, and people that dig it will really dig it. And then we won't be for everybody, but that's okay.
That's okay.
I was going to say, maybe you could glue in other genres and say, if you throw Maygen and the Birdwatchers in, you can have any other people on the festival too.
Yeah, we'll be like
that way.
Yeah, that's true.
That's good.
But yeah.
What I like about you have such the interest in the sound. How many instruments did you have on stage last night? You have so many multi-instruments
Well,
in
he
your
brought
band.
2 electric guitars for 2 electric songs, which is hilarious to me.
I mean, what else am I going to do that? We had 5 guitars, 2 basses, violin, mandolin, banjo, dobro, and another electric guitar, and then drums. So it's like 12, right? A lot.
Yeah.
We had a lot.
And don't forget about my tambourine and my
Megan's
weird shaker
tambourine.
contraption. Thing. That's important.
Yeah, it's great though. Truly, it is great to have a lot of multi-instrumentalists. We have, Jesse plays fiddle and mandolin, which is just like 2 dynamite instruments, and he can play both of them very, very well. And then Nick is our banjo, but he also rocks on guitar and does dobro. And then Ethan is primarily our bass player, but he also does all of the backing harmonies as well.
Yeah,
so it's just cool that we kind of have
important.
a lot of people to fill a lot of needs. That also lets us kind of like flex and be a little bit different. Sometimes with Peter, who played drums with us, sometimes we don't play with drums. Sometimes we are more just kind of that 5-piece bluegrass C ensemble that kind of lets us kind of fit the bill a little bit more.
Yeah.
What I like is all of those spices that you're able to play with. The music, and I think Maygen, you sort of said it last night, is that you write a lot about relationships. You write a lot about very much the everyday life, which is amazing.
Yeah. Well, I went through this stage where I was singing backups for a guy in town for a while, and it was a fun and growing experience. But then after that kind of went by the wayside and Noah and I decided to get more serious about what we were doing for our own music, I went through a period of watching that country music documentary by Ken Burns. And then I got super inspired by just that whole 3 chords and the truth idea. And not that none of our songs are only 3 chords, I don't think. Dominus. Yeah, okay, well, most of our songs are not 3 chords. But just writing, being more authentic with the way that I approach songwriting, and like, here is what's on my heart. Here's what I'm thinking. Here's what I'm thinking maybe these other people that are close to me are feeling or going through. I'm just going to write more authentically about it. And it's translated, you know, in a lot of ways, it's really touched, I guess, for some people, you know, they've really connected to that style. So it's good. It's great.
Well, the song that Heather already brought up, Jigsaw, no, my kids are older, but I can imagine if the pandemic hit when my kids were younger.
Yeah.
I think you nailed it. And the video for that is adorable.
I was going to say, it reminded me of a after school special where, you know, you get the important lessons, but it's brought to you in a very childlike way. But it made me think of, you know, during the pandemic too, that you're stuck with these people and, oh, you want it so much, but oh my gosh, you're going nuts at the same time. So I'm just like,
and that's what COVID was. There were so many parts that were very special and cool about having that time together. But then there was also those times that arose where you're just like, okay, this is something we have to navigate, you know, and figure out. So, and Corby Ortman is the illustrator of that video. He's a local guy in Minneapolis, super talented guy. And he was a fan of our music, you know, from the get-go, and said that, you know, he would love to do a video. And he just came up with this storyboard that was just perfect. He just listened to the lyrics and thought, this is what's going to work. And it really did. It really told the story very well. So, yeah.
Dominate is another song that I really like, that I, you know, God only knows what I'm supposed to say. Anyone who's been in a long-term relationship or even a short-term relationship, to be fair.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. And again, the video, I think, complements it so well.
Yeah. Yeah. We were kind of just, you know, I was writing kind of a more serious song, but putting it behind, we wanted to kind of have it be more playful and goofy and stuff like that. And the music video kind of showed that off as well, because we are also just goofy people. And so
yeah, we
don't
are.
want to make it too serious, but yeah, I mean, it is, you kind of hit the nail on the head. You know, God only knows what I'm supposed to say. That's kind of what the whole song is about, you know, not really knowing what to say in a sort of way. So,
well, and there are times where that can be very funny in a relationship, and there are times when it's not.
No, that is
exactly.
That's true, and that's the back and forth is dominate. So,
but I like how you both of you have just captured those segments. They just speak to people. You hear it, you're like, mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, good. That's what we try to do. So,
right. Good.
That we do.
And I'm looking at some of the others. Just the full moons. That's another one about to me, the idea of love waxing and waning.
Yeah. Yeah.
Often in a day, and then back again.
Yeah. Yeah. And I wrote that about my experience with my wife and stuff like that. We've been together for a while. But just kind of some of those early days of like getting married. We were pretty young when we got married, and I think it was just kind of like we got married and we're just like, oh, well, now we're married. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like a shock. Like, oh my gosh, and navigating some of that stuff, but you know, like working, you know, hard on this stuff, because it is hard and it feels like it's waxing and waning and stuff like that. But being able to get to a point in kind of the chorus saying, well, now I only really dream of full moons. Now it's like, now I know. Now I've matured. Now I've grown up. At least feel like it. You know, so. Yeah.
And I just love singing and playing the song. It's one of those songs where it comes on and you're just like, I feel good. I just want to sway and dance and feel good about love and life and,
Yeah.
and all of it. So that's a good one.
I was going to say, I like your song Antidote too, and with the mandolin, and I just, when you're saying swaying or whatever, it's just kind of like breeze going in it. You know what I mean? It just like floats along with it. It's accompanied so well. I love it. And the video too is beautiful.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Again, we're very fortunate to have the backing band that we do. They add a lot, and they work really hard on our songs, and it's very, very cool. It's very cool to have those guys part of our journey. And like you're saying, that mandolin part kind of makes that song just what it is, that perfect sound. So
What is the name of the venue? I can't think of it that we should.
Granada.
Yeah. I kept wanting to, it
Which
was
is-
like on the tip of my tongue.
which is a beautiful venue in itself. I didn't think we could quite fill the Granada, so we didn't want to do that for our city release show. But it's such a cool venue that if you guys have been in there before.
No, but I feel like I
So
have
they
after the
remodeled-
video. Yeah,
They
it's gorgeous.
They remodeled it basically right before COVID hit. And it was like multi-million-dollar, like back to the way it was in the 1920s or whatever.
Yeah.
With that beautiful deep
it was
blue,
really-
like star sparkling ceiling. It's
Yeah.
just such a trip being in there, like looking up and thinking you're outdoors. It's just very magical. And it was, of course, with the lyrics to Antidote, it was just the perfect space. So I'm so happy that they allowed us to get in there and get that video going. I think we got it all shot and done in like
It was
what,
quick.
2 hours
Yeah,
or
it was
something.
wow.
It was crazy.
Everything about this band was just do lightning fast.
Yeah, we're
We
just
have
like,
to.
let's do it. We got to finish this.
done.
Okay, it's done. But it works.
It'll
Yeah.
work good.
I think we work well under pressure.
Yeah,
I think that's
probably.
what it is.
Because there's such an elegance to that song. You would have thought you would had the luxury of days to do it.
Oh my God. Not at all. Yeah, not at all.
Yeah.
It was very swift, but it was fun. I enjoyed it. It was a good, and Chelsea Lopez did that. She's also a local videographer, marketing girl. She takes photos and does video. The music video side of things is kind of a second for her. She mostly does other kinds of video, but she did a great job with our stuff. It was good working with her too. It's nice to be able to work with other local people and what they are masters of at their craft and get inspired by them and see what they have to offer, so it's good.
That's one thing Ann and I have heard from a lot of artists is people collaborating with a number of different people on either photos or videos, and it's kind of cool to see the relationships grow and see where they take, like you said, your song and make it something perfect for it.
Yeah, it's so nice, and it's great to start a relationship by doing something and like you were saying, grow it. Like Tim is the guy, Square One Video, who did Domine. Well, he also decided that he was able to come and shoot a video for us last night at the release show, so like we got to hang out with him and see him again, and he's going to be doing more stuff for us, and just great to have and create those local connections, in this community of musicians and artists and such, and media and all of you guys too. It's just so great to just keep meeting people, increase the network.
So that would imply that you're going to be doing some more videos, because I think the videos are just such an additive, especially I think in the last year and a half that we've had. Heather and I both said, "Oh, if it weren't for the videos, when the live shows went off here."
That's true.
For sure, especially because like we tried to do only a couple, but we tried to do some of those like live virtual shows, and that is just not. It's hard. You have no energy to feed off of. You can't see anyone's faces. You're looking at a computer screen. You're trying to be like put on this like not a show, but what I mean.
Whole thing.
Ugh. And the sound and just all of it. It was a disconnect for us. So at least making videos can feel a little bit closer to
For sure.
who we are.
Yeah.
But now I'm just so happy that I know COVID is out there still causing a problem and making a mess and being ridiculous, and it's a real thing. But hopefully we can just continue
Yeah.
finding those spaces where we can have live music and
live
just
music going.
keep the live music thing going. So, yeah.
Well, we've already alluded to just how amazing it was last night. I mean, you guys at the Fox goes, and that's what we've been missing.
Yeah.
Is those mixtures of those surprises at a show that you don't.
Yes. Those
You know,
things that
your
never
neighbors aren't going to
otherwise happen.
suddenly burst in through your live stream.
Right.
Mr. Johnson. You know?
That's a good point.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. Well, and we felt that for sure this summer too. Like people were ready for music to come back.
Oh,
And
yeah.
we were too, obviously. But just people were hungry for it, and it's cool. It's cool to see a lot of people have been very supportive of the local scene, which is great. Which is great. I think we have a good town for our scene. I think people get it for the most part. Get kind of what artists are going for, and we'll support them, which is awesome. Being venues, being media, being just fans and patrons and stuff like that. And it's been good. It's been good to see.
Yeah.
Well, and it's a place where musicians support musicians, and we saw a few musicians there last night at your show. That's always nice to see.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, exactly. You always get a little nervous with some people just sending the invite out there, like, hey, we're having an album release show. We'd love to see you, love to /meet you, whatever. But it's so cool when they just show up for you, and then it's just that mutual love kind of thing where, we want to do the same for other local artists, where it's just like, we just want to support as many people as we can, because we know how much it actually means when you physically show up to a spot to support someone. It's so huge.
Yeah.
It really is.
It truly is, yeah. And I think, I don't know how it is totally around the country, but like it really feels very uncompetitive here. It feels like everyone pretty much gets that everybody can eat. There's a place for everybody, and it's cool because when we have this album release show, it's about us, but then it's almost just as fun to go support somebody else. To go see their, like we're gonna play with Luke Hendrickson here October 30th for his album release show in Rochester. He's such a cool guy, and we just get to go support him, and like that's
super exciting.
That's just so cool too.
Yeah.
So it's fun to be able to do both.
Yeah.
Well, now is the opportunity. You are playing in Rochester on October 30th, you just said, but you've got a couple of other shows coming up too.
Yes, we have the Women Folk radio show. Ellen is hosting, I believe it's every Thursday. Yep. At the 331. And we are playing with Bad Posture Club. And have you guys heard them at all?
No.
Oh my goodness,
Awesome.
you will die. They are so good. They're like hauntingly beautiful harmony vocals.
Okay.
It's great.
Yeah.
They're like mesmerizing. You just can't you listen to a whole song because you're like, this is amazing.
Yep.
So we can't wait to see them and meet them. Never met them before, and that'll be great. In Duluth for the first time. We have not played Duluth. We're playing Bent Paddle on Saturday, November 6th. So we'll be there as a trio.
Yeah, this be kind of a
As
cool
well.
hangout, chill hangout. So
That'll just be a fun hang.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's a fun play. I know that the Gunflint Trail is not right after Duluth because I've spent enough time, but that's in that direction. Isn't that
We're getting there. We're getting there.
exactly.
That is, I do like that song a lot.
Oh,
Yeah.
Gunflint Lake, not Trail. I mean the trail.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Same area,
Yeah,
same exact area. You got to take the Gunflint Trail to get to Gunflint Lake. So I know what you mean. But yeah, last night I talked all about the Save the Boundary Waters because we were donating proceeds to them to help their campaign, and then it was right before Gunflint Lake, but I neglected to say, and this next song is inspired by our first trip to the Boundary Waters. But yeah, that's basically what that song was written about, was just our first trying to be a family camping up there and all the woes that can happen, but also just all that beauty and magic that happens at the same time. Up north is just so magical. There's just no comparison.
Yeah. Well, I was impressed. Up north, I used to do websites for fancy resorts. It's not the same, but I do like your song. It's as close to camping as I'm getting.
Hey, that works too, man.
We're getting out of the car, snapping a mosquito. We're going right into the resort. But I do love the beauty of it.
Yes, for sure.
Something for everyone. So that's good. Yeah.
I mean, as long as you get up there and you see the beauty, you can be in an RV, in a tent, in a swanky hotel, not a hotel, but like a lodge, something.
Lodge, yeah.
As long as you're in the area, it's beautiful. Yeah.
That's good. Well, I always welcome the opportunity to say, and it's something worth protecting.
There you go.
Absolutely.
I mean,
1,000,000%.
100%.
We said percent at the same time. Jinx, when
Someone else, someone a Coke.
Exactly.
That's funny. But I will include this in the notes, but for folks who are listening, how can they find you online?
Go ahead.
I was jinxed, so I can't.
Oh, okay.
He actually is a rule follower apparently too.
Yeah, that's fine. You're a rule follower. We have a website, MaygenandtheBirdwatcher.com. We're on Facebook and Instagram, and you're sort of active on Twitter now.
Very active.
He's very active on Twitter.
Oh, well, now I'm gonna have to look that one up. All right.
Yeah, Maygen and the
BW. Yeah.
So he's mostly Twitter, Maygen and the BW, and then Maygen and the Birdwatcher on Facebook and Instagram. You can find us. If you Google us, you'll see us all over the place because I'm just a freak about being accessible,
All the streaming platforms as well.
And all the streaming platforms and all the places. Bandcamp.
Can I ask one last? Oh, sorry.
Oh, no.
I want to ask one question. When we first started, you said you've heard people talk about whatever last night. I want to hear to each of you something that stood out that people have commented on last night.
You want to go first?
You have something? I have to think.
I do.
Yeah.
I have heard a resounding, people really loved that intro song. That it was just like such a mood setter, and it was so like, here we are kind of a thing. And that it felt really like they were in for a good night kind of a feeling, which is great. That's what we were going for. So that feedback made me really happy. And then the other feedback that we've gotten, and you get a number 2, but I'm taking 2 and then you get another one next, was just that people had fun. It was a fun. Oh, did I take it from you?
No, I'm taking this one for me, which is people had fun and it was a party, which is what we wanted to go for. It wasn't too serious. It wasn't too, like uppity or anything like that. People were able to kind of come in and do a thing and jump around too. It's kind of cool not jump around like up and down, but like, see different people new people there and stuff like that. And it was just a fun atmosphere. And that's what we wanted.
That's the goal. We do love we love the striking and beautiful songs, but we also just want to have an experience and have a good time with the people that are there in the room and have it be like a group hug.
A group hug. Group hug, yes.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say you did create more of an experience for everybody rather than play your stuff and you got to hear, you know what I mean? It felt like we were included. So yes, A for you guys on that. Yes.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
A good night was had by all. It extended the weekend well into Sunday, so that was.
Yeah.
That's true. I know. Yeah, people came out on a Sunday. I was like amazed. Luckily, we were done by like 8:30. So I was like, nobody wants to be out here that late. I want to.
Yeah, I'm glad that we decided that it was going to be an earlier evening, and it worked out well because it still felt like a party, and it was great. But also, people got to bed on time if they wanted to. So. Yeah.
Monday was easier, so that's.
Yeah, exactly.
Thinking ahead. So, good. Good. Well, we encourage people to get out and check Moonshine, to visit some of your shows. Rochester on October 30th, Duluth on November 6th, Women Folk at the 331 on October 28th.
Yeah.
Awesome. Or Moonshine. Yeah. Congratulations on a beautiful album, and thank you.
Thank you for joining us so much. And thank you, ladies, for all that you do for local music and artists and all of it. Like, we really dig just following everything that you guys are doing. And I've found out about so much stuff and so many bands like through you guys. So like, thank you so much for what you do too. It's really, really good.
Thank you.
Oh,
Kind.
thanks.